Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, Shir sponsor Lord Nishmas Am Yakushon Labas Yitzchok. We're holding in Sanhedrin Daf Tzadikei. This is a daf that was given on Shabbos, and this is a repeat of that shir. We are starting in Daf Tzadikei based on the bottom. Even though we learned that before, I just wanted to reread this lush of the Gemara because we went through it a little too fast and not even in just the push of Shah and two Nekudas. Says the Gemara. That day, we mean the day of when he came to Yerushalayim, he traveled 10 travels. Shneimar, Boal Ice, he came to, now let's listen to the Pasuk. Every place, every location that's mentioned in the Pasuk is one of the Masois. So Boal Ice, number 1. Avur Mikor, number 2. Lemachmash Yefkid Kelov, number 3. Over Ma'avora, number 4. The Gemara right now understands that's one location. Geva Maloi Lonu is 5. Chordo Harama, Rama was scared, that's number 6. Giva Shaul Naso is 7. Tzali Koilech Basgalim is 8. Hakshivo Lisho is number 9. Anyo Anoso is number 10. Nadodo Madmeino is 11. Yoshua Golemizu is 12. So you have 12 locations. Now we're going to skip the parentheses. Rashi says the parentheses is wrong to read it over here. Hani Tuva Avion says it's more than 10, it's 12. Tzali Kolech Baskolim is not a location, says the Gemara. Naviu Dekom Lekretz Yisrael Tzali Kolech Baskolim Bitoy Sharvom Yitzuk Vigayev Shasu Mitzvahs Kigal Hayom. So Tzali Kolech Baskolim means the waves are going to be very happy. Why? So, because you have all this Kedusha to rely on. Akshiva Lisha, listen Lisha, what is that? The high loy tistafi. The gears over here is, Akshiva. Akshiva Lisha Mahai lo tistafi, and the Mistafi Menu Mechanetz Arosh, the Mitle Kage. Told me the next words in the Pasuk. It says Akshiva Lisha is also not a location. It means that you should be scared of the lion, Laish. And what's the next words in the pasuk? Anya nosos. Yomia will be snappy when the V'chanetzer comes. So what do you see over here? You see that what? You see that the three locations that were mentioned in the pasuk is not locations. It's talking about that here you can rely on the others. The Yechezkel will be very scary, and Yumi will speak about it. So when we speak about the Yechezkel, says yeah, but this is called Lisha. So the Gemara, there's 6 names to the line. Elohen Ari, Kfir, Lavi, Laish, Shachel, Shachatz. And Rashi says that there's Moduchta Chriso Mefarish Lamanekru Kol Hashem Usalolu. What's Duchta Chriso? He sends us to the Medrash in Mishnah. Says the Moyachi Botzulu. 1 second. So then it's only 9 locations. I take 3 of the locations out of the 12 to use them for drushes. I'm left only with 9. So the more you write Avru Ma'avara Tartininu, it's 2 places. Avru and Ma'avara. Avru Chad, Ma'avara Chad. It's 10 masoros. Now the Gemara goes on to the Hemshech of the Pasuk. So that's we got the 10 masoros. So the more it says in the pasuk, the next pasuk, we may be familiar with this psukim because this is a pasuk that we read in Achron Shel Pesach. And the next parak speaks about Mashiach. Because right after that it says, there will come Mashiach, and then, Garzel and Keves, and that very famous nevuah about Mashiach. Before that, it starts with these words talking about Tzacheriv. So he's going to be a noif. He says, the Noif Yerkohanim that was killed because the Shaul killed him when they came to assist David the Melech, that's Avera is there, and that day, that specific day, the Sanhedrin had the ability to conquer Yerushalayim because he would get because of that Avera, the Puronos was for that day. Amrli Kaldoyat, so Kaldoyat, the Chayz V'Kechovis told him, "He's also saying the Yochos. If you're going to go today, you'll be successful. If not, you won't be able to do it. It takes usually 10 days to travel. So in 1 day. When they came to Yerushalayim, they put in like pillows, they put in different matzois, until he was sitting on top of the wall. At the Chazio the Kul Yerushalayim, he saw the whole Yerushalayim. Chazio, when he saw it, he looked it was very small in his eyes. Omar Haloi Doi Katu Yerushalayim. This is the city of Yerushalayim. The lawyers were Gishis Kol Mashriz that troubled all my soldiers to come. Look, Kavishis Kol Medinot, and I came and conquered all the land as I'm going. Haloi Zeiro, it's small, the Chalosh and weak, we call Kacham in my Kavoshes, all the cities that I conquered. But Koy Yodi Allah, they come, I'll pick up my hand and I will conquer it. Umanit Bereshe, he tilted his head. Moivul Maisi Biyodim moves his hand. Al Tu Bigdosha the Betzion Vazak the Bishlayim on the Pesach English says this will be easy to conquer. So they told him, okay, let's go conquer it today. I'm really Tamisu Rashi says, you should rest for the way. The next day we'll bring one stone from it. We'll see on the base, millions of soldiers were there. Each one takes a stone, will be done. Right that night, 180,000 soldiers from Sanhedrin died. In the morning, everybody was dead. Once the din went to sleep, it's batal. You had that one day opportunity. Why was that one day opportunity? So first we'll discuss it. One Indian is Noivir Kohanim was the Kohanim. And what was the day Sanhedrin died? Sanhedrin died on Leila Seder, the night of Pesach. So we're talking about Erev Pesach. Erev Pesach is the busiest day in Beis Hamikdash with Kohanim. So that day there was a tainos, it has the Orchaner, on the fact that Noivir Kohanim is gone. Because now you're missing these Kohanim, so that's why that day specifically. I'll go on and we see over here the Noivir Kohanim is a big Indian. We're married on this in the Shom Achshav on the Daf, but the Iker Indian is the Noivir when we're speaking here about Melucha, Chizkiah, supposed to be Melech HaMashiach. Melech needs the Kohen. They go hand in hand together. Always the Melech and the Kohen God went with them. So when the Melucha, when the Kahuna is missing, the Malchus is missing as well. Says the Gemara, Vayishbi Benoiv. Vayishbi Benoiv is a name. But as the Mashal says, it should have said Vayishbi Benoiv. It was in the location called Noif. It says Benoiv, why? In other words, we talk about Vayishbi Benoiv. Who's Vayishbi Benoiv? He is the brother of Goliath. Goliath, when Goliath, David Melech killed Goliath. He's a giant. And he had armor and he was a warrior. He wanted to go and kill David the Melech. Why is he called this way? This came out again knife. And he was against David the Melech, who specifically was more responsible. Why? It's on you. David was killed because they protected David. He said Lashon Hara on David. They were running after David the Melech. And this is very hard to understand. What do you want from David? He didn't do anything wrong. He was the one that were running after him. But David Melech is a king. And the king needs to be me'ached de'uma, needs to have everybody intact. And there was a taino, there's still David Melech has to take care of that as well. So right now, Noivir Kohanim died, and it was because of you, not because you intended to do it, but because of you. How do you fix it? It says to David Melech, you have two options. Either Yichle Zarcha, your descendants will be diminished, or you will be captured by the enemy. If I prefer to be captured by the enemy, I don't want my children to be diminished. He went to hunt according to what Shana Rashi. Also, so the Satan comes and looks to him like a deer. Popped a big deer, he shoots an arrow at him. He wasn't able to reach him. He was running after him until he reached his Eretz Plishtim. Yishbenev sees him. Oh, here's the one who killed my brother, Goliath. Kafti, he tied him up. Kamti, he bent him. He put it underneath the beam of the oil presser. And then it was an ace. For David HaMelech, there was a crack in the ground and he was able to go in there. I had a place to put my feet. This was Erev Shabbos. He's putting 4 buckets of water on his head. He sees a little blood in it. Or there came a dove and was waving in front of him. Allah Kes Yisrael Yoina Imsalio. Kes Yisrael is Moshul to Yoina. Sheirema Karfi Yoina Nechva Bekesef. Shpamino Dov Malki Yisrael Betzar Shoy. David Yisrael is inside. Also Leves went to the house of David. Fulashka couldn't find David. Allah Atran Yerich was Suso Yeshua Kiso. You're not allowed to ride his horse or sit in his chair. Ve'imishtashi b'shavito. He now uses his instrument. Shasakonamai. What can I do it today? Shasakon. Also, Shabi Bidwashikiti has to be Swedish. Only Shasakon Shofidami. Doing Sakon you could. Rachel party become Ozol Kotzaliar. So then he read it with the Osain, with the mule and Kotzaliar. What was the question over here? What's going on? So the first should bring over here a very interesting thing. He's saying, tries like this. That's what brings, I believe, the Enil Yo. Says that what happened was, to ride a mule is also because a mule is kilai. So Avishai had an option. Now, how did David and Shlomo have a mule? So the Yerushalmi Bracha says that their mule wasn't created from kilai. It was there from Sheshis and Mebereshis. It was a mule that's what was born. So comes Avishai asked the king, the Bispartish, what should I do? Should I use the mule of the king, which is not covered with the king, but it will be better? Or should I use a mule which is kilayim and it won't be better? That was the shayla. So they told him you could use the mule of the king. So he ran the fields there and get the plishtim. He sees the Orpa, the mother of Kol Yosef, that she's weaving. She saw Avishai, she took the weaving instrument, the beam, she threw on it, she thought to kill him. But it didn't hit him. I say, bring it back to me. He threw it on her head, the cattle, and he killed her. It's in the steel. What's going on over here? But that's a push of shot. Yeshua sees now, Avishai, will betray the cattle. Now there'll be two, they'll kill me. He threw David in the air. He put on the floor his spear. Remember, Yeshua is a giant. He could just throw people this way. Avisha said the name of Hashem, and David stayed in the mid-air. Why didn't he say himself? David didn't say himself. And Chodesh Moitzi Hatzor Beis Hasurim, Chodesh cannot take himself out of Beis Hasurim. Rashi says over here, because he's too torud. But other Mepharshim bring, which is David brings, that because one can only help somebody else, not himself. If Kamini can David die down for Avishai. Well, my advice is Avishai asks David, the Pasha, based on the argues of the Gemara, why is it mid-air? He tells David, what are you doing here? Baruch told me to have a choice, and I chose to be captured. You have to turn this around. Your grandson should sell wax. You can't suffer. In other words, you're Melech Yisrael, and Am Yisrael needs you. You're right. Don't help me. And you look at Shmuel, it's two psukim. There was wars, then David fights with Yishvi Benai, and Avishai helps him. So Pasha helped him in the war. He helped him with Tefillah. Mavido Marav, Shazu with Tefillah. Avishai Shem Hachne, according to our Gilsa, he burned down with a shame. How the Kodev Karadi Batrayu, Yishvi Benai was running after both of them. Kibatu Koivi Amr Kumbe. You get to the place called Kumbe, they said, let's stand. Kibatu Betray, Amr Betrayin Guyun Katlu Lari. Two dogs killed a lion, we could kill him. Go look at your mother, Arpa, in the cave. When he heard the name of his mother, he got weak. The Katle, and they were able to kill him. That's why the chief David swore to him, so you're not going to war, you're not going to lose any sword. Pashup means you're not going to go to war. According to what we learn now, you're not going to moisture yourself to be noifil beyond oyev as you chose to do originally when you gave her the option. Ramesh Shapir Zatzal, the Shir Per Chelik, explains over here that the pshat is, what's the pshat? Pshat is that David HaMelech had a correction of his malchus. Where is he corrected by? Orpa. Who's Orpa? The son of Orpa. Orpa is the sister of Rus. Rus and Orpa were together. Rus joined Am Yisrael. Orpa went in many Averis and had birth to these two giants. The leftover, the last correction of David HaMelech coming from the Rus comes from Moav, and what's left from it comes from Orpa. There's three that had Kvitza there. Eliezer Davram, Yaakov Avinu, Avisha ben Tzruya. Avisha ben Tzruya Adamon just said he had Kvitza there. Eliezer David Avram, the Chtiv, Avo Yom El Hainim, he came to the Hainim, he got there, he left, he was able to get there in one day. Yaakov Avinu, the Chtiv, without Tzachel base, he came to Charon, the Chtiv, he got Maluk Vayel and Sham, Kiba Shomesh, he slept there, and he went there and slept there. Kibat Echon Amar, when he got to Echon, he said, Efshar Avarta, Mokovish Palu Boy, Avoisev, Anilis Palti Boy. I passed the place of my parents, down there, I don't get down there. By the man, I wanted to go back. When they hear it, there, once they said to go back, come to the hour. And Kitza Derech, you have a Yid Gaba Moker. That's a Moker, and the Mashpos of the Gemara here, you can pass one and then keep back, and after Chor, now like Rashi in Chumash, as the Ramban points out. Now, the next few lines of the Gemara, the Vilna Gemara takes out, Simon doesn't belong over here. It says like this, Dova Acher, Ein Begil, Tfil Shtema, Taltiv Bal Ba'adam Azer, Tisel Balon, we know what Tfil, Valtiv Gabi, so he davened there. Okay. He wanted to leave. He put the Beloini, came to my place of Lino. He's not going to sleep here, which is needs Avodah. Why? Because Baruch wanted him to be sleeping there. That's when the Shemesh came. The sun rose for him. There was Richat Shemesh for everybody. And the Shemesh set for him. And then if we keep back up, in other words, referring to the Shkia that was because of him, so really this Richa is referred to him as well. Now here, we're also marking a little bit more in Shor Bachshal on the Daf, but we talk about Kfit Tzadech. Simple question someone asked us there in the Shir. Tzadchev also, he went 10 Masoras in one day. He had Kfit Tzadech. So Ramesh Shapir is explaining, Kfit Tzadech doesn't mean to go fast. Kfit Tzadech means you take away the concept of Mokum. Mokum means you have this location, that location, you have to get from one place to another. But once you're above this world, you have no Mokum. And all these cases are talking about above the world, when you're coming to create Am Yisrael by Yitzchak, coming to create Am Yisrael by Yaakov, or coming to save the Melucha by David HaMelech. Says the Gemara, when do we know that the children of David were gone, were diminished? So Ataliah was the mother of the king, Achaziyahu. She saw her son die. She didn't want anybody else to be a king. She went and killed all the people of the kings. Yosh was left over. Yosh was a little baby. They took him and they hid him in Beis Hamikdash on the second floor. And then later they made him king when he was around 7 years old. Says also by Noiv Yerkranim, even though Shaul killed all Noiv, there was one person left of Yosser. He ran away. So because by Noiv Yerkranim someone was left over, so also by David HaMelech's children someone was left over. If not that Yosser was survived, so also in David will be no leftover from his kids. So the Russia came by 45,000 children of kings. You have with them the princesses, I mean the queens, the Zaynas, the ones that do Fiznus. Why? The first was saying to show that it wasn't even a war, they just went for a walk, for a trip. 80,000 with an armor, and 60,000 with a cherev. Ramesh Shapir that's on the Shur and Berchelik explains that these three types of groups are connected Avram Yitzchak v'Yaakov because the cherev came to be Oiker Avram Yitzchak v'Yaakov. So the more Fashal Parasha, the rest were either horsemen or the Vilna Gaon's gear says regarding the going on the feet. That's what kept Avram Avinu against Avram Avinu. V'chen asid lavoy im goy u'moygog. Also Gog and Magog will be all these people. The length of his machne, 400 parcel. The length of the neck of his horses is 40 parcel. And there's comes out to be it's a few billion people. It's 260. It's 2,060,000 times 1,000. 260. It's 2,600,000, like 2 billion, which is a number not shaykh. And here comes always the discussion in the Maharal is these numbers are literal, the numbers only are coming to say something else. But it says over here, Chosechad, one was missing. Chosechad is 10,000 missing? One 10,000? Or chos echad for 1,000, or chos echad 100, or chos echad the actual one, taker. And the Maharal explains the idea is that he was shalom kol b'nei shleimus. He had the perfection of the world, but he was missing something. Because for a Rosh, it's never going to be 100% perfect. A Rosh always has something missing, and that's what Sacher was missing as well. Tano, Harishonim Ravu B'Shechi. When they passed the Jordan River, the first ones, they were at the Sechi, B'Shechi, they had to swim. Shema B'Chol Yehuda Shodav V'Ovar. That's Shtifel. And Tzoyim over B'Kayim, they were able to stand up. Shema Tzover Yagia comes to the neck. The rest, after they already got to the bottom of the river. They couldn't find water to drink. Actually, if you mind, look around and show that they brought water from a different place. Says the Gemara, so they actually went through the river. What's the point over here of the river? So the din is here, the Yarden is the Mokar Hashpah of Am Yisrael, of Eretz Yisrael. And they came to take away the Shefa of Eretz Yisrael. You know, we mentioned in previous year, it says in the Arizal, that also up there in Shamayim, Eretz Elyon Keneged Eretz Yisrael is also a river they need to cross, which is like the Yarden, same letters of the Yarden, just different order. It's called Nehar Dinor. Dinor and Yarden are the same letters. That's the border, that's the place that brings you there into Mokav Elyon. Here, Mokav Atachton, Secher is coming to take that away. That's when the Yarden dries out. That's supposed to be said before, 180,000. You just said there's millions of people. That's the top, that's the generals. It says, only the fat ones, the more important ones died. Or died that way. Rashi discusses if the rest died as well or not. Discussed over here in the Rishonim. He had all the more important people. Then the Hamshach Pasuk is it's a Chayiv king. The boy's going to address it in a second. That he came to his worshiping place and his children killed him. Shema, you see, the only important people died. Second one, he came. How did Akash Baruch Hu hit Sachiv? So what blows on him biyad can we use the hand. Shema vayai so said hayad shatil leporim Sachiv. Hayad dayan, which hand will be with Sachiv? I'm sure him be'etzba he come with the finger. Shema vayemcha to me mepar etzba eloikim he. He etzba shatil leporim Sachiv. So either a hand or a etzba. First we discussed it. The B'tzudas David has a whole cheshbon that the yad tells you the length of the size of Mitzrayim, and that's what you know about Sachiv regarding the size. Moshe Peretz mentioned the shirim that the yad gedolah, the hand, was the end of Mitzrayim in Kriyas Yamsuf. The etzba that we say in the said the etzba it's only a fifth of it. It's not the end. The discussion of here is Sachiv is the Arba Malchus coming from Sachiv, so he's only the beginning. That's the etzba. Or Sachiv was gone and there's something new coming, and that's the yad. Do you have the knife, the round knife, standing up? The sizzle, it's ready. It might be chavos no dodu, and the hemshech of the pasuk is mipri cherem netusha. It wasn't just time that he had his knife open. It was man bishu parasites when the fruits or they rape it. And Omar Lakash Bogel Gavriel Kishata Yoitzel Rashad Paris Izok. Once you come to do the Bishop Paris for the harvest time, so you get to them Shnami, they all throw Yikach Etchem, Kiaboke Baboke Yavor, Yir Balaylo, Pergzavo, Yvinchmo. Once your passes by, then he does all the terrible things. Once you're on your way, you go to the Oyev. Don't make it the Iker that you go to kill the Oyev. That should not be, you should go anyway. When you're on your way, then you can go and you also destroy the Oyev. So that was another way Gavriel was doing it, and he was getting the harvest. Yeshayim b'choyt no shavim from Esu. Who used Nishibas Apov. Shema v'gam no shavim evashu. V'imol ba'rabom kapayim sofek le'mesu. He clapped his hands. Shneim agani ki kapi al kapi v'ani choysi chamosi. It says the Marsham, the two hands is Yad Yamin Yad Small is the Rachmim or the Chesed and Din, which that's what Beis Hamikdash is built, and that's what destroys them. They heard the shear of the chas and they died. From the Royim was the Goyim Nofetz. And this, what does this have to do? Because we know it was supposed to be time Mashiach. And time Mashiach is a time of Geula and Gilui Elyon. So there was a Gilui Elyon that doesn't belong to this world and they're not able to withstand it. Obviously, each one of these Pirushim has a lot to it. We touched upon some of it a little bit. It says more, how much are left over from the Sanhedrin? Rabbi Omar Sorah was 10. Shneimah v'she'ar eitz. Whatever was left, the left of the forest, mispar will be very few. Mispar you v'nar yichtevim. And a kid can write them. Kama nar yochel lichtov. How much a kid writes? A sorrow. What's a sorrow? The ois yud is a sorrow. She says it's only a dot. So even the smallest kid can write one dot and have a yud. So yud you have left. Or I'll explain. The sorrow is a minion, yet a small tzibur left. Shmuel Amartisha is not even a minion, it's less. Like the same when you cut off the olives, there's like 2, 3 left on the tree. And that's what he had, in the leftovers. 4 plus 5 is 9. So it's 14. You count the whole thing. So it's 9 plus 5, you get to 14. It was Chamisha. Who's Chamisha? Sanhedrin, Vishnei Bonov, that, and Nebuchadnezzar. Then Nebuzaradan, who was the general of Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuzaradan, Gemara. We don't have a source that Nebuzaradan was left over. Nebuchadnezzar, you know that. When they threw into Kivshanei, Shchanim Shavazayo, there was a malach there. Nebuchadnezzar says, I saw a malach. How does he know how the malach look like? He saw it in the time of Sanhedrin. That's how you know he looks like. We'll see more about it in the next daf, but he was bowing down to his God. These are the 2 kids. So 2 of his kids killed him. So you see Sanhedrin was clearly left over, and his 2 kids that killed him were there as well and they left over. So these are the 5 that were left over from the whole army, huge army of Sanhedrin. That was the big miracle that Kishbul killed everybody else. And just to end with one nikuda that unfortunately discussed, a big nikuda that it's a big discussion over here, brought down halacha, is that David Melech is punished for the fact that Nervi Karani was killed. So they want to say that if someone causes somebody else to die, even though it's not his fault, he's responsible for it. So there's a reveal regarding this. When a person sends a shliach, sends a messenger to do something, and the shliach dies in the way, does he need a kapara or not? So the poskim are very, very busy with it. Is it only if it was his fault? If he knew something would be wrong, does he need kapara or not? But in general, the makar from our Gemara is well, David the Melech is responsible for Nervi Karani, even though he didn't do anything wrong. But it might say happened because of what he did. So from here, the poskim want to learn that when someone sends a shliach and the shliach died in the way, even though it wasn't his fault, but it might say he was associated with it, so he's responsible, he's a kapara for it, and a lot more to talk about this Indian. We'll stop over here and continue from here, Be'ez Hashem, in the next daf.